Welcome back to NTV Weekend Edition. Now, on Wednesday, President William Ruto met a group of clergy persons in State House on the back of the Reject Finance Bill 2024 protest after he had made his pronouncements about what he decided, after he'd made his pronouncements regarding the whole matter of the finance bill, which was rejected by the population largely. So the question is, did the men of the cloth speak truth to power, or did the power dumb down their truth? We're now joined by one of the clerics who was there. That's Reverend Timothy Njoya, who is a retired PCA cleric, as well as has been a human rights activist, has been fighting for liberties in this country for very many years. Welcome to NTV, and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Good evening, audience.
Yes.
Yes.
Reverend.
Yes, sir.
What did you guys go to do at State House?
Let me speak for myself.
Okay.
I went to State House like Jesus Christ went to hell. He died and went to hell to redeem the dead. I thought the State House was a graveyard. It was the place for the dead, and our president was, for all practical purposes, no longer our president. He had been colonized and destroyed by Parliament, and he has also colonized it. Mutual colonization. So we lacked a Parliament, we lacked the executive. So if you talk of the state as the judiciary, the Parliament, and the executive and the Parliament, the legislature, died. So what we needed was how to dismantle them. You know, in 1996, October 5, I called for dismantling the one-party state.
Yes.
And also called for dismantling the Lancaster Constitution. And that became a national agenda. And we had an agenda of our own to replace the old Constitution, the Lancaster, with a new one, which extolled the values and principles of sovereignty for everybody. Now, the sovereignty has been not removed or anything, only that the institutions we elected, one to become the executive as one organ of the three organs of the state, and the other one to become a parliament, lost their mandate by behaving like each other. The parliament was put in the pocket of the president, and it lost existence. It lost the value. It died. I used to call it the graveyard of the intellectualism. But now it is worse than graveyard of intellectualism. Itself is dead. And then you see, and then it started doing things, implementing executive matters like CDF, giving scholarship, doing what we expected the executive to do. So it's also colonized the executive, and it was told by judiciary not to do that, but it continued and disobeyed the law. It disobeyed the Constitution. So we went there into hell, like Jesus went to hell to redeem the dead. So I went to the State House, even when, and it was, the green light to go there came when the president said he wants to reverse, and he won't sign the bill. The
bill, yes.
So we went there before he signed. He signed, we were there, we witnessed. I was standing behind him. When he signed it, one of the first nails on his coffin. But so
what do you mean by that, Reverend?
That his work, what he has worked for since he became president came to an end by adding that bill. He would have to go back for reference to be re-elected or not re-elected. And that's why we went and asked as the NCK for the AIBC to be reconstituted immediately, without a delay.
What did he say to that?
Sorry, we left the State House before he answered that, but he answered other things. He said he was going to not to call the army again. He told us. He told us, personally he told us, I was there, if you could listen to his tape. He told us that he is going to stop these killings by to call not people to be killed like the way they are being killed. He said that So he acknowledged the excesses of
But just the other day, the president said under his presidency there have never been any extrajudicial killings. Do you agree with him?
That's what he seemed to have acknowledged, that it is happening and he's going to stop it. And not only that he is going to stop it, he praised the young people, even myself. Let me say, what the young people are doing is, we used to say, Aruta continua. It's the continuity of the revolution and the liberation we started. You ask me, why haven't I continued with the revolution? I'm 83. Revolution is intergenerational. Liberation is intergenerational. You cannot do liberation for every generation. It has to be self-governing. We are talking of freedom of principles of governance, that people are sovereign, and these young people born in 1977 around up to now, they are now the ones who should be, if they were not marginalized, if they were not marginalized from the job market and other things by the corrupt executive, which should be sent home, or the executive. All these cabinet secretaries should go home, because they have not stabilized anything but death, stinking. So what we are saying is that we want the young people are continuing with the revolution, and we all believed. Even if you ask people like William Tuga or others, or David Araba, we were together, Kamakuria, or even Orengo of that time. I don't mean of today. I don't know. He's government now.
What's the difference between the Orengo of then and of today?
I would think all of them would say that we said liberation is intergenerational. And I think there have been a generation between me and this, you are calling it
Gen Z.
Gen Zs. The Gen Zs are not the immediate generation from me. But I'm saying, I don't want them to go with me to hell, to the State House. Let me go there and bring this country, rescue this country from death.
Why shouldn't they go there? They feel
it shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be there in the first place at the moment, because it has betrayed them. I congratulated Ruto, asking him for having started a socialism. I got bottom up the term. I told him about Karl Marx and others who talked about socialism as participation in the distribution and the share of resources, equality in equity, and all that. I told him what he is saying actually is, by bottom up was where everybody, the top can come down there, but the bottom could not reach there, because of our GDP of 113 trillion, and of our GDP can accommodate Kenyans at a very, very good standard of living, all of them. It is, but now it does not, because 20%, okay, let's say, over 80% of our economy is in the hands of about 10%. Some became that part of percent, but since Ruto came into power, they have aggregized money within a short time. They are now having helicopters. They are now having black Pajeros, and now they are having, I don't know what they are having rad everywhere.
Okay.
They didn't have before. So how do you acquire those things? By earning honestly. You can only be rich overnight by aggrandizement.
So did you tell this to the president?
We told him that he should dismantle corruption system.
And what was his response to that?
He responded to most of the issues very positively at that point. And he was not under coercion. We went, like Jesus went to the dead, talked to them, and they heard him, even though they were dead. He heard us.
So did you leave State House with hope for a better Kenya, or did you feel that
We
you
thought
were
that we
possibly-
offered a solution. That is very, very clear. We offered a solution where there were none. We offered a solution of what to do to rescue this country.
Did you
To
feel
listen to the Gen Zs, because they have something to say about their own lives. They can not be told. Maybe I'm not the jury to judge myself whether we accomplished what we want. But I do think that we did accomplish something by going to the State House. We were not invited, we asked to go there.
Yes, so who initiated this visit?
We in the NZX secretary, we are about 100 people, clergymen from all over Kenya, clergymen and women, both with the youth representative, women representative, people with disability represented.
Okay, and one of the things that has come out is that people are saying, you're a sellout, or you were pocketed by the president. Did you get any money?
That one, I gave them 100% power to judge me. They are the jury. I'm not the jury. But mark you, they are judging me. I had one of my press attaches. When I was in Central Rand Church, there was press in my church every day, every Sunday. And I'm very sorry I hear that Mutahi, what do you call him? This man from Chuka, where I used to be a minister. Mutegi Jau.
Yes.
I hear he has been called to heaven.
Yes, he rested.
Yes, and I'm very sorry because he used to be like my press attaché. I used to take my sermon to the studio on Friday, on Saturday, so that they know what I'm going to preach, so that by Monday they are able to write it. I used to take not only my sermon to the studio, I used to take the text and everything written. So Mutegi was one of those people to whom I took my sermon. And I'm saying I didn't have a good press. Today I don't have a pulpit because the media, like this one, was my extension of my pulpit. Both local and international.
So when you went to State House,
yeah,
were you guys given the question is that, were you guys given any money, or were you, because the question, have you been...
Nobody in Kenya gives me money, they know they would lose elections. There's no politician in Kenya who doesn't know that if he gives Joya money, even a shilling, he will lose his... I've been asked Raila, ask all these people who used to come to my church in Keno, have they ever given me a shilling or given my church? We didn't do harabe or any fundraising when they came. Ask your people like Kibwana, who became governor, or William Mutuga, who became chief executive. We've been in the struggle together. We are comrades. We are not predators. We are not thieves.
So for State House...
These people are coming gunny bags to church, these MPs and other people, to give the church. The church, who is more corrupt, the corrupted or the giver or the given?
So just because I actually want us to get into the aspect of the church and the money and the like. So we're talking about yesterday, there was no exchange of money or pocketing of the clergy.
By who?
On Wednesday, I beg your
if
pardon.
anybody was in the pocket, the Ruto was in our pocket. It says we give our statement, written statement. We gave him our written statement. And then we gave it to the press yesterday. On Wednesday, we gave him our written statement. It is that statement we are taking to him. It is him who are left with our property, not us his.
So that's a no.
Yeah?
So that's a no.
What?
In as far as money, because that's a thing that
I'm saying that when people saying we are given money, all those who can be given money are the ones who are saying so, that. Because they don't know anything else to be done to the State House other than be given money. They are corrupt. Those who are urging that to me are the most corrupt people. They are mentally corrupted. Their mindset is corrupted. I would say that, how can you imagine that Reverend Joa can be given money by Ruto? Would you imagine? No, I mean, would you imagine? If I was not given by, I didn't go back. I used to go with the church when Kenyatta was president to State House in Mombasa when we go for retreat as ministers to the State House, and we used to have our agenda why we want to see the president.
Okay, and on one of your tweets, you said that as people were, going at you, you said that we even told Ruto to stop giving money to churches.
Yes, that one we said very clearly.
And what was his response?
Some things he didn't respond to. We had no time. We asked him too many things. The time which we had, he didn't answer anything, but he seems to agree.
So
no, that one we have always said that since I got saved in 1956. The state is the agent and the servant of the people. It should not buy the people.
So
it should do work for which it is mandated by the people, not steal from the people to take back to them.
So they at times would argue they are giving in their own personal capacity. Is there
no, they have no personal capacity. They are only robbery capacity.
Reverend,
why are you laughing?
No, I mean it's quite a bold statement to say,
yes.
Because if, for example, and I'm just being devil's advocate here, one says that I'm going to the church I'm part of. It's my local church, and they are having this project. I want to give money from my own salary. Is there anything wrong with that, from where you stand?
If you have the interest of being elected, or I owe you there, then you are a corrupt person. If you are buying power.
Okay.
And there's people who give money to buy legitimacy, which they have already lost. You cannot buy legitimacy if you have it. If you are legitimate, you are legitimate. Why should you pay for your legitimacy? Why can't you give correction like everybody else, like I do give? I tithe. I don't know any year I have not given my 10% to my church at Kinoo. I always write a check at the beginning of the church calendar. I'm not a thief of God's money. If they are salaried, they owe God the tithe, not me or the pastor. Why should he give an envelope to a pastor? They are corrupting him. No wonder even ourselves accept corruption.
So some of the clergy, either those who are with you or just generally in the country, have been great facilitators of the situation that we are in today.
Sure, I know.
And have you spoken to them about it?
You read it in the papers. I stormed out of our own General Assembly on April 9th when I knew that they were going to induct somebody accused of defrauding people or corruption in front of Ruto and in front of Gachagua, my readers, President and Vice President. It's like endorsing to accept that kind of thing. I thought they will not be able to criticize those people if they do the same. So if I can protest against my own church at the risk of losing my quota, have lost it 3 times before.
And one of the things that has come up also is the fact that people are saying the church is losing its credibility. Some say Christianity as a whole is losing credibility.
When did it have credibility?
Are you saying the church has never had credibility in Kenya?
To me, I've always criticized myself. Everything, I've always repented my sins. I belong to the East African Revival, where I'm very critical. I have a critical self-consciousness. I've read Paul Freire. Yeah? Democracy, governance is critical self-consciousness. Being aware of what we are doing and asking yourself questions daily whether you are doing what is the will of God. The church should be there always. And in our church we say, forgive me for what I do, what knowing and what I don't know. We are a repentant church. We are a militant church.
So do you proudly put on a collar of an institution that you feel has no credibility?
We are not perfect. And if I don't admit that, then I wouldn't be saved. And I'm saying I must admit our weaknesses and the weakness of the church first, so as to be able to criticize the state. You have to be, if you are not self-critical, even yourself, you cannot be critical of me. You must examine yourself. As long as you are in this world and you fall into temptations, it's good to examine your own record in order to be able to examine others.
Okay, and in regards to one of the things that's a big issue in this season, the finance bill, and now specifically the protests, one of the questions again that comes up is that we had clergymen going to State House, but when people were agitating for their rights in the streets, where were you? And those who have been injured, have you gone to visit them? Those who are bereaved, have you gone to condole with them? Or did you then reach out to State House?
As I told you, I'm retired. I don't work as a minister anymore. I work as a house husband. I retired and became house husband. All I know is now to become a good house husband. And I write out books and other things. The time I spent with the people, didn't spend, when we went to All Saints on Sabasaba, I was in the hospital. Let me tell you, for 3 days in ICU, for 8 days in the hospital, not a single clergyman with a cora visited me in the hospital. When I was attacked, can you see I have no fingers? 3 of the one removed during Kenyatta regime for saying Harambee is the ideology of the Kikuyu middle class. When I was attacked and I was left dead and I went to Nairobi Hospital, I think only the person who took me there, who helped my wife to take me to Nairobi Hospital was Gato. Nobody who with a cora, even the chaplains of the Kenyatta House, of the Nairobi Hospital, where I was taken, couldn't come when I was there not to be identified with what I said. Because for them, I was talking like EJM karaoke. So I'm saying, ministering, I am empathizing with them, I am with them, they are suffering the same cause. It's all since on that day, Osabasaba, 20 of us were killed. In fact, the papers, some people in the world said, we saw you are getting killed. Thanks, I was thrice killed, and I thrice rose again.
Okay. And Bishop, just in closing, I just want to refer to a post that you responded. Someone at Evanso Creative had said, I didn't expect to see you there, I'm disappointed. And your response was, please know that I told Ruto that I joined Gen Z protests yesterday.
Yes, the day before on Tuesday.
Between Karen and Ngong,
yeah,
to protest against the violation of human rights by the police. We did not flatter Ruto. You should have heard what Bishop Kodia told Ruto, that he accepts responsibility for those who died. What was that conversation from Bishop Kodia?
I cannot recall much what it, but he was talking about that we need to empathize with the families who have lost people as if it's our own children. Yeah. Because they are our children. They are my grandchildren. They are my grandchildren.
Okay. So, Bishop, do you feel that there are critics who are saying that it doesn't matter what you told the president? All the president probably needed was a photo opportunity with the good people in collars so that it can, look like a good move. Do you feel that's a justified critique?
I offered sanitization to him, but he also offered me the opportunity to tell him what is in the mind of the young people. That we want to stop the marginalization of the young people. They belong to this country, marginalization from the job market, from the society, by not being jobless, and by marginalization by corrupt people who have aggrandized the money and not only the taxes in Kenya, they have aggrandized the foreign money, the money we have borrowed. They have used it for themselves. Very true has gone to help our young people and to prepare them for construction of this nation. they are marginalized. Who is going to construct this nation? If the young people are not working, they are the ones with the energies. Ruto talked to us about how about exporting them. Why export them to do jobs and develop other countries when ours requires faster development? So I'm saying, why marginalize our own young people to be killed in Dubai going for work, where we should have all that work in this country? But the money imports, all for every, I one time did the mathematics. For every money we produce by tea, coffee, and export, most of it brings cars. About 80% brings luxury things for opulence of the rich. It does not bring anything to help the farmers. Farmers can't even afford money to drink coffee. Do you know that? Some farmers go without tea, and they are the ones producing tea. What do you think of that? And I'm saying, why don't we should get that money and pay taxes, not be deducted taxes as farmers. No deduction should be made. We should be taxed from money in our pockets, not money by the state to take it before it reaches us. So I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is that the state corporations, the state mechanism for steering, and even the executive, as I said, they should be resigned or removed from work. We don't need the executive at the moment. It's dead.
But I hear you come from. In just one sentence, did you leave State House with hope for a better Kenya?
But I left State House knowing I made a contribution, I've been heard. I knew I was heard. And I knew once you can't expect people to do things you have not told them.
Okay.
Now I can't hold them accountable to the Constitution, which I helped in the writing, and I count him to having reminded them about the sovereignty of the people, that they need to help to remember. Sovereignty is not simply an empty statement. It is respecting the people, not stealing from them, facilitating them to be able to construct this country, especially the young people who have the energy. What you call the Zs, the Gen Zs are people who should be the most productive, but now they are alienated from the market and from the industry and from work. They shouldn't, they are angry. They are pointing at the problem. For me, I wanted to go and provide some solution.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Reverend Timothy Njoya, for your views and for giving us your truth on this. And this is the beginning of a series of pieces of journalism that we shall be doing under the hashtag or under the theme, The Caller on Trial, amid all the conversations. We take a short break on NTV Weekend Edition, but when we come back, we'll have some more in terms of business news, as well as tell you what we know about what happened at Githurai the other night. Stay with us.